Yeah. Let's not break it this time. Let's not. Please. Pretty please.
Is that so?
Indeed.
Okay.
You ready for this?
My turn now.
Okay. So, we need, we need the ethereal healing as soon as possible. So I'll throw that on.
Benefic stars, bless us.
The battle is truly joined.
And we need to transfer rune to make sure everyone can have the extra damage.
What's this?
Okay, Cyrus was hit. That's not the worst. So now all I need is Albrick to go before anyone else.
What's this now?
Okay, so. Doesn't matter what I have.
My turn now.
Out of my way.
Woo, not broke. I think Therion would do a good job of having that first.
I'll take this. My turn. Let's do this! Time to steal the show.
Victory shall be mine.
And then we'll use Darkness Resolute too, so everyone can have darkness.
Conjure darkness.
What's this?
I don't know what that move did.
My turn now.
But it hasn't stopped the fact that I need to deal more damage. Okay, now we just need to deal as much damage as fast as possible.
Out of my way. Try this.
The battle is truly joy. Watch my blade dance.
I'll not be defeated. Oh, stars, fill us with power.
Unparalleled. Elemental quick.
Make him weak to everything. Woo! Damage!
Out of my way. I appreciate it, really.
Witchery.
It's okay though, he can do that all he wants.
What's this now?
It's not going to be a weakness anymore, so it might be that. Oh, it's not. Spear cast. Dear God. He really went with that. Guess I knew his sword's all that's gonna happen. What is the other weapon? Not that, because you know he's not weak to that.
What's this now? What's this now?
There's no point wasting more BP either with Ophelia because her normal damage is not nearly enough to matter. Although Simeon's going down quite fast, so it might be okay.
What's this now?
Right, so obviously, transferring runes and giving everyone an elemental damage straight after the normal attack is just broken as hell. Oh. Thanks, Josh. From the diary of Lord Geoffrey Hazelhart. I kept my faith. I stayed true to my convictions until the end. Several years before my death, a shadow fell upon my dear noble court. A shadow known as the Obsidians. They brought with them sweet words and false promises, but I would not lend them my ear. Once they came to understand that I would not be swayed to their way of thinking, they came after my life time and time again. I would not allow myself to be daunted. I dug deeper into the truth to uncover the intentions, their ties, and the mastermind behind their villainy. And my search eventually led me to learn of the Gate of Phoenix. In the end, I was murdered by the men who caught wind of my discoveries. Yet I do not regret my actions. I lived true to the words of my house and did all that I could for the sake of my people. My sole regret is that I have left Primrose alone to pick up the pieces of this broken life I left behind. My precious daughter should not have to bear such a burden on her shoulders. Primrose. You stood before my grave and told me, did you not, that you had lived true to what I had taught you? You are strong, my daughter. You found your own cause and purpose, and the purpose you found was the continuation of my very own. You carried on in my footsteps, and finished what I started. My dear Primrose, when I think of how much you must have suffered all alone, all I can do is beg you to forgive me. Now the time has come for you to lay down your burden and rest. It is time you forget about me and find happiness. Happiness of your own this time, for I will always be with you. Geoffrey Hazelhart. Okay, on to fight number 2.
I don't think this one will listen to reason.
I will not be defeated.
Okay, this one will be fine.
My turn.
We just need to work out what he's weak to.
Now then. Scatter them all.
And that'll be fine as long as I can use Analyze. There we go. He's weak to wind, he's weak to
Now,
darkness.
Tenebrae over
He's gonna feel that in full force.
my turn. You're too kind.
Now then.
Right, Albrecht, we want this to last for a long time. So, wind it is.
Conjure storms.
My turn now. I will not be defeated. Here I go!
Alright, we'll use that on Cyrus, so Cyrus is actually terrifyingly strong.
How about you?
I just don't know what you're up to right now. I need to find out.
My turn.
You can't get any raining arrows because I'm not using any characters that have the spell anymore. The spell is outdated for a while now. However, what's not outdated is the bloody. Look at this. This is ridiculous. Just damage.
Interesting dilemma. Elemental grip. Elemental grip.
I will not be defeated.
I almost
Out of
feel
my way.
bad.
I appreciate it. Really.
Now then. I shall pierce you through.
Jesus.
What is the logical course of action?
Let's go with another set of elemental breaks.
Elemental grip. Elemental grip.
I'll do my best.
You don't even need to heal anyone, so literally, just use that. It's stronger than using any spells. Oh no, he's changed his element, and I'm gonna need to heal this turn.
Now then.
Um, it's spear time.
Here it's home.
He is nearly dead. The problem is now I need to heal.
Bring about the miracle of healing.
Cyrus, you've got another turn of repeating spells, so elemental break.
Elemental grip. You should have studied harder.
Now for some more reading. From the Diary of Graham Crossford, Part the Second. All hope was lost. My beloved was gone forever. I had finally finished the elixir, but it was too late. Mere days too late. My one true love had drawn her last breath just as I was racing back to her side, medicine in hand, and heart filled with renewed hope. For 3 days and 3 nights I lost myself in tears, a river of tears too deep and raging for me to ford my way across it. It was after the funeral of that the woman found me. LeBlanc, she called herself. In the depths of my anguish, my life bereft of all meaning, she asked me a simple question, terrible in its implications. Wouldn't you like to see your beloved once more? That insidious offer, a mere whisper in the wind, took hold of me. Try as I might, I could not close my ears to it. If it would mean seeing my love even once more, then I would give my very life without regret. LeBlanc spoke of the Gate of Venus, which separates this world from the next. If I could find it and cast it open, I could bring my beloved back to my side. I had heard the legends before, of course, but for the first time I found myself desperate to believe them. Begging the help of one of Kit's companions, I set out to the southeast. It was a fool's journey, but what else remained to me but a fool's hope? On my way, I passed through the village of Clearbrook. There I came across a young boy, stricken with illness and lingering just outside death's door. Convulsions racked his small frame, and his skin was mottled with a purplish pox. I recognized the symptoms at once. How could I not? It was the same foul malady that stole my beloved from me. I felt the touch of fate in this meeting. Though I had not been in time to save my true love, I still carried the elixir I had laboured so long to create, a remedy that could do nothing for her now. There was no doubt in my mind what I must do, and so I treated the boy with my medicine. When I looked at the boy's face, finally at peace and in calm repose, I saw my beloved again, and in her gentle eyes I found forgiveness. I hope I can do that too, someday. Such were the boy's words to me, when he was strong enough to speak again. He told me that he wished to follow in my footsteps and become a great apothecary. His words were a reward I never expected. In that moment, I felt as though my journey was perhaps not a fool's one after all. I left what remained of the elixir and the rest of my medicines behind with the boy, and I set out once more, turning my feet again to the gate of Phoenix. Little did I know that I was making the greatest mistake of my life. I will use an Inspiriting Plum and a normal Inspiriting Plum. And now into the next one. Pardon me.
I will not fail.
Okay. So he's weak to wind. Which means wind.
Well then,
Which also means wind. Doesn't mean wind this time though. Just big damage.
The battle is truly joy. Scatter them all!
my turn now.
And I want BP boost for Therian.
Oh stars, fill us with power.
Out of my way. Let's do this! Show.
And now I know everything he's weak to. Hooray! Well, everything he's weak to that matters.
Conjure storms!
Well then.
Elemental crystal. What is the logical course of action? Elemental crystal.
God, I love it.
My turn now.
Guess ethereal healing might be okay
The
to
mythic
use.
stars, bless
It's not going to be necessary too much, but it's always nice to have there just in case something goes wrong. Ah, just what I needed.
Here I go!
Tyrion.
Alfred, bringer of the flame.
Victory shall be mine.
Out of my way. You're too kind.
Damage!
Yes.
Damage!
Elemental. Interesting dialogue.
Telling you, numbers, numbers, numbers.
Out of my way.
I will not be defeated.
Victory shall be mine. I shall pierce you through. What is the logical course of action? Elemental.
This is busted.
Yattagara. Yattagara.
Oh no, Cyrus!
So much to learn. Victory shall be mine.
What?
Use this.
I'll take the HP actually this time.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
Bring about a miracle of healing.
Oh,
Elemental.
just gonna have to use Elemental Break and have no damage because he died. Like a loser. Whatever.
Time
His Reckoning
to steal
still really strong.
Don't start things you can't finish.
Healing. Healing. More reading. From the records of House Ravis. From the time of my first memories, I recall my father lecturing me on the origins of our house, on what it meant to be the head of House Ravis, and on what it was I must give my life to protect. My father had heard the same from his father, and his father from his father before him. If I have to say the word father again, I will have lost all meaning in the word. The House of Ravis is blessed with many treasures, and many who covet them. To one born into the House of Ravis, such things are as natural and given as the blue of the sky above us. We are blessed with great treasures, and it is our duty to protect those treasures from those who would use them for ill, and among all the treasures there were none greater than the Dragonstones. The Dragonstones were bestowed upon the first Lord Ravis by the legendary King Beowulf I of Hornburg, and they have been passed down in our family ever since. The stones are said to have come from a land far to the east, and they are worth more than their weight in gold, but that is not where their true value lies. A power sleeps within them, and it makes them valuable beyond mortal comprehension. For the name Dragonstone is no simple fancy. The stones house the power of the great worms whose name they bear. It is said that the great sorcerer Odin Crossford used the power of the Dragonstones to seal shut the gate of Phoenix. Crossford had campaigned together with King Beowulf and aided him in the founding of Hornburg. My father, when he was still with us, once told me this. Power in itself is neither good nor evil. It is the man who wields the blade who decides whether he fights for good or evil. That is why King Beowulf entrusted the stones to the man he trusted above all others, the loyal knight who would become the first lord of House Ravis. Great power can bring about boundless good or unfathomable evil. It is the duty of our house to keep the Dragonstones safe and protect them from those who would wield them for dark ends. Yet, given enough time, great power will always awaken a hunger in others who would claim it for themselves. Once the Dragonstones came to House Ravis, there was no end to those who lusted after them, not to mention our many other riches. Even kith and kin cannot be trusted to stand against such temptation. Once, a rumour reached my ears that suspicious parties were inquired into the whereabouts of the stones at the behest of my own relatives. It may be that those who sabotaged the carriage my wife and I were riding in did so at the bidding of my own blood. Oh, my poor Cordelia, what is to become of you? You're too gentle to ever doubt another. I fear that many will draw near to you, cloaked in the guise of kindness, and seek to deceive you. Cordelia, I can protect you no longer. No matter how I try to call out, my voice cannot reach you on the other side. Yet this I hope you know. Though a time may come when you are betrayed by one you trust, I believe your heart will not falter. You will not lose your faith in people, and this is for the best. For there are those truly worthy of your unwavering trust, and you will find them and keep them close to your side. I held on to such faith, and I was rewarded with a loyal companion worth 1,000 other men. Heathcote has been true to me in all things. Surely such a friend will appear before you, one worthy of your faith. And so I beg of you, Cordelia, never stop believing in others, for it is this faith that will save you in the end. How to kill a dragon!
Fail.
Out of my way.
Now what was the dragon weak to? Well, as always, we have to just do this first anyway.
What is the logical course of action?
I think it might be light that it's weak to. Maybe? Analyze. It is light, good.
I will not be defeated. Molecular star, pierce our foes.
How about you?
Pardon me. Ooh.
Scatter them all! The battle is truly joyous. Conjure light!
Oh no, Therion, come back! No! Ah, bugger! Bastard!
I will not be defeated.
It's not a spear. It's not a sword. It's not a dagger. It's an axe. Ah!
How about you?
There we go. The axe did it.
Now, what next? Elemental trick.
I guess I want Cyrus to keep getting buffed from it, so he'll do the most damage. Possibly.
I will not be defeated.
It'll heal everyone. There we go. Good. We got this.
Now then. I shall pierce you through.
I'll do my best.
Nope, I'll just be doing more damage by attacking normally.
Now, what next? Ah! Elemental grip! Elemental grip!
Hey there, Polar.
My turn now.
Nope, it's still much more aggressive. Just hit normally. Altherian, you're back!
The battle is truly joined. Watch my blade dance.
I will not be defeated.
Elemental grip! Elemental grip! Are you?
No, I will use it with Aver's Ragnar.
Time to steal the show.
I'd rather have the extra damage next turn.
What is the
Or I guess I'm just doomed to have it now. Oh well.
elemental grip? Elemental grip!
Well then,
It's fine, Dragon will be dead next turn anyway. So I guess Therion can just steal some SP this turn. So I don't have to get many next turn. Next.
my turn now.
Yes. Bang!
Thus ends your lesson.
Okay, so who needs anything this time? Only Cyrus. Right, that's good. Time for more book. Also, time set this bottle of Coke down and pick up this cider. This is my pre-drink for the night. How could I have been so wrong? All I thought of was bringing my beloved back to the world of the living. When the Black told me such a thing could be done, I was all too willing to swallow her pretty words. The moment that I arrived before the gate, I felt a finger of ice run along my spine. Even if my mind had been too slow to recognize it, my very body was repelled by that gate, or more precisely, by what lay beyond it. While I struggled to catch my breath, LeBlanc sketched out a magic circle on the ground with practiced ease. As she traced each twisted line and rune, her hand never faltered. How many times must she have prepared for this moment in her heart of hearts? It was at that moment that I realized just how she had longed for this moment. How fiercely she desired to see the dark ritual to completion. Only by this ritual may the gate be opened. It will not be pleasant for you, but you must bear it if you wish to see your beloved once more. So, LeBlanc spoke as she led me to the center of the magic circle. As she began the ritual, the first thing I felt was a great pain that struck my entire body at once. It was followed by a strange sensation like nothing I'd ever experienced. I felt myself stretching and swelling from the inside out. From the corner of my eye, I saw my own hand changing into something foreign and awful. And then the fear. LeBlanc watched my transformation with a glow in her eye. It was then I knew this ritual was not intended to open the gate and bring my wife back to me. I know what truly lies beyond the gate of Phineas. That horror is what LeBlanc sought to bring back to our world, and I was to be the vessel. I would be lying if I said I had no idea this was coming. My conversations with LeBlanc had led me to suspect that this ritual would not work for just anyone. It seemed that she needed my blood, the blood of House Crossford, descended from an ancient line of sorcerers. That is why I must be the one to prevent her plan from succeeding, for if I fail, she will only turn her sights upon my dear Kit. No, that I cannot allow. So while I realized before the end what LeBlanc intended, I continued to accompany her in her aims so that I could see the truth of the ritual for myself, and foil it however I could. Little did I know that I was dealing with a power far, far beyond any mortal's control or conception. I felt my own sense of self growing faint and distant, and something else entirely filling me. I resisted it with all that I had, but that presence to that thing, a being like myself, a fragile human spirit, could be crushed as easily as an insect beneath your heel. Then, just before my mind was completely consumed by the darkness, I saw the smiling faces of my wife and son one last time. I screamed. The memory of my wife gave me the power to resist at that last critical moment. I imagine LeBlanc herself did not think that I would ever strike back at her, but I had already grown far stronger than I had been as a man. Even when I only managed to land a single blow to her, it cut her deep. She staggered back and the ritual was interrupted. This is my chance. All I need to do is chase after her as she flees and cut her evil at the root, bringing everything to an end. That is what I must do, but why am I? Where am I going? Why am I am turning into something else, something less and less human, and so I wander the land without aim. There are periods of time I cannot remember. I come back to myself, surrounded by destruction. No memories, but I know it was me. These blackouts grow more frequent. They come for me now. No, stay your hand. I am no monster. I am a man. I am a man.
I will stop you here and now.
Right. What were you weak to? As usual, I will just hit you with knives. No, I know you're weak to ice, so I do not mind hitting you with ice.
The battle is truly joy.
What am I doing? No, I want to transfer room.
Scatter them all.
Well then,
And you are going to give Therion a BP boost.
oh stars, fill us with power. I'll do my best.
And no, where's the stuff for attack? Render a single foe unable to receive a tribute augmented or something. No. Really? Do you not have critical hit rate? I thought she had something to buff. Nope. Okay. I guess... Therion's critical rate's going up.
Shooting comes. Lead us on our way.
The battle is true.
And he's weak to ice.
Conjure ice. Elemental trick.
Out of my way.
And now we need to find out what all he's weak to.
Show
I'll do my best.
Out of my way. Fox.
The battle is truly joined. I shall pierce you through.
Whoa, damage.
My turn now.
It's glorious.
Unparalleled. My focus is unparalleled. Elemental trick.
Oh no, Cyrus!
I still have so much.
Victory shall be mine.
I forgot he wasn't invincible.
Watch my blade dance.
Fox.
Well then. I'll do my best.
Get up, Cyrus.
In Elfric's name, be saved.
Out of my way. Let's do this. Show them. And that's that.
He's just the best. Let's read some more. From the Diary of Marius, Prophet of the Accursed Flame. Once, I too believed in the teachings of the Sacred Flame. I led the people in its light as a servant of the Church. No one could have doubted that I was anything but a pious believer in those days, and when I look back upon it now, it all seems so painfully foolish. When was it that I first began to doubt the flame? Perhaps it was after I met LeBlanc. But no, that was before the catalyst to what was already growing within me. Even before LeBlanc appeared, those feelings had taken root in my heart. The small village whose church I had been appointed to was destroyed in a conflagration started by a capricious strike of lightning. The flames spread before we even knew what was happening. Before we knew it, we were engulfed in hell's fire. Countless were lost to the flames, even the innocent young children who I had loved so dearly. They had committed no sins. They did not deserve to have their flesh seared and their bones turned to ash. So I prayed to the flame. I prayed and prayed that their lives would be spared. Fool that I was, even after they were dead and gone, I believed that if I prayed hard enough they might return to us, that a miracle might occur. And so I offered up every scrap of faith that I had, until at long last I realized the truth. Believing in the sacred flame and praying to it would not bring about a miracle. And if my faith could not bring me and those I love succor in our time of greatest need, then it was worthless. It did not matter to me if the power I needed was forbidden. I would use that power for the force of good and bring about miracles. That was the true faith to which my eyes were finally open. It was not something I had been tricked into by another. I had reached enlightenment. It was only fitting that such a revelation came to me, the one true Savior. While the Black may have been responsible for my enlightenment, may not have been responsible for my enlightenment, I am still grateful to her. After all, she is the one who granted me the blessing of 100 years free from aging. The dark secrets written in that tome can allow a man to cheat death, and I owe her a debt for sharing that with me. I gained eternal life, or close enough, as a true Savior should. I then took it upon myself as my duty to save as many people as I could with the power granted to me, and so I set out to kindle a darker flame in our realm. If the sacred flame could be weakened, yet more of Galdur's accursed power would seep through the gate of Finis, and I would be able to claim even greater strength for myself. I hid myself away from those in the church who wished to stop me. But the long march of time was my ally. It wore away the lives and the memories of any and all who once knew me, until it was as if my face had been washed away like words writ in sand. None who still live would remember me as an apostate to the church. With enough leaves, all things are possible. Even obtaining a new name is little challenge, and so I worked my way back into the church's graces as the traitor Matthias. Even the venerable Archbishop Joseph did not suspect me for a moment. Every step of the way, fate has shown me that I am in the right. I was able to uncover Galdar's altar because I am right. I was able to use a fragment of Galdar's power to bring about a miracle because I am right. I could become the savior of Whispermill and command his people to do my wishes because I am right. With Simeon as an ally, I never wanted for money nor power. The Obsidians served me well, whether they knew it or not. Simeon claimed never to have spoken of me to the others. I know not if he meant to use me as a secret weapon against the others if the need ever arose, or if it was simply that he didn't trust me, but it hardly mattered. After labouring for so many decades, the time had come at last. I had succeeded in debilitating Archbishop Joseph with the poison the Obsidians had provided me. It was a beautiful poison. No one would ever suspect it was anything but a natural death. All that remained for me to do was to cast a dark shadow on the heart of Lyanna, the next flame bearer, and the sacred flame would soon burn black. That is what was meant to be. That is what was about to be. But no, damn it all to the farthest reaches of hell. The culmination of all I had worked for was mere inches away, so close I could feel the kiss of the accursed flame. And instead, it was all snatched away, that fire snuffed out to leave me in utter darkness and despair. I am the savior. I was meant to bring Galdar's flame back to the world. Why should I be left in this black hell? It is dark here. The darkness, it is all-consuming, darker than 1,000 starless nights. Please, someone, anyone, bring me some light. On to fight number 6!
I will not lose to you.
Okay, there is multiple enemies. Let's see what needs to be done. Guardian Lion Dog might not be too
Guardian
bad.
Lion Dog.
The battle is truly joined. Scatter them all.
Come on, tell me I can get more information faster. Okay, the skeletons are weak to dark, and Ivan is weak to light. So
What is the logical course of action? Tenaba Oparin.
let's get rid of everything as fast as possible.
My turn.
Yeah,
I'll take this.
let's go.
The battle is truly joined. Conjure light.
Let's do this. Show
All 6 weapons. He's weak to staffs.
I'll do. Yeah.
elemental grip. What is the logical course of action? Elemental grip.
Well then.
What is the logical course of action? Elemental grip.
No then.
Let's go. Oh god, that does no damage. And still misses everything.
Out of my way. Fox.
I'll do my best.
Oh, he's changing stuff. You know what? No, more Fox Spirit. Fox Spirit's really good.
Elemental grip.
Victory shall be mine. I shall pierce you through.
I will not be defeated. Here I go! Elfric, bringer of the flame!
Have at you. Ha!
What is the logical course of action?
Let's go. Ah, I don't have enough for Yagarasu. I forgot. Or not Yagarasu. Foxfire. It's fine, it's still do decent damage.
I appreciate it, really.
Or, you know, outright kill it. Whatever.
Don't start things you can't finish.
From the diary of Headmaster Ivan of the Royal Academy. It was 15 years ago when I first learned of that tome. The headmaster's chair was but a dream to me in those days, when my prized student Lucia brought a young woman to me. The woman told me that I was the best suited to the position of headmaster, that there was no knowledge, no position that should be off limits to a man of my ability. And so she taught me many things, one being the existence of ancient tomes containing the long-forgotten secrets of old. There are several volumes of forbidden writings in Atlas Dam's great libraries, and no eyes but the headmasters are allowed to look upon them. The tome in question is one of these. It is the last extant tract of the legendary sage known as Solomon, whose name lives on in history through the land of his birth. The kingdom of Bernstein has long since been gotten. Long has it been said that he who can decipher its true meaning will obtain power over even life and death. The current headmaster is not worthy of such knowledge. What he lacks in intellect only pales to what he lacks in character. I cannot depend on him. I would depend on you. She wished to decipher the secrets of this tome, and share its knowledge with the worthy alone. Thus a great scholar was needed, one who would be able to fully understand the arcane truths within the tome. The doddering fool who now serves as headmaster could never do such a thing, but a genius such as you, Ivan? Surely you, of all scholars in the realm, are up to the task. Yes, that was how she persuaded me. It was true that I bore little resemblance to the former headmaster, who was interested in nothing but his studies, and whose only praiseworthy trait was his tenacity in that single-minded pursuit. But I was different. I knew that knowledge was worth its weight in gold, and more critically, my intellect far outstripped his. How could the idiots around me fail to realize this? This woman told me that the then headmaster, holding a lofty office he had done so little to deserve, was tantamount to sin, and I agreed. When she asked me if I could remove him, I assured her that it would be the simplest of tasks, and so I had him assassinated just as she wished, leaving not a trace of evidence behind to incriminate myself. Shortly after, I ascended to the headmaster's seat in his place. I encountered the strange woman only once more after that day. When I reported to her that I had murdered the former headmaster, she flashed a chilling smile and simply replied, "So you did." Then she walked away, never again to appear before me. Perhaps removing that man was all she wanted of me after all, I thought. It was no matter. The tome was in my grasp, and I immediately set myself to uncovering its secrets. All the rumors I had heard were true. It was a work of staggering genius. With Lucia as my assistant, I was able to obtain other rare and ancient texts from that woman, even if I never saw her again. Yes, everything was going just as I had planned, and power beyond the imagination was finally within my reach. How did it all come to this? Damn that accursed Lucia! Damn that heartless, conniving witch! How did I not see? She was meant to use me from the very start. I was the one who unlocked the secrets, I who constructed the basic theories of how to effectively control life and death, and as soon as I had done that, she had no more need for me. That was why she gave me a flawed blood crystal and led Cyrus right to me, so that she could dispose of me without dirtying her own hands. You despicable, loathsome, hateful woman. Death has not cooled my fury, but only fueled it to greater heights. Curse you and that unholy witch who brought you to my side. May the deceitful Lucia burn for all eternity. May the foul witch LeBlanc be banished beyond the farthest reaches of hell.
Here and now.
Okay, so it's gonna poison me a lot, and it's great. I don't have arrow rain. Ah!
Scatter them all! You're too hard.
I'll do my best.
it is.
My turn. I'm ready for each show.
Victory shall be mine. Conjure.
My turn now.
What is the logical course of action?
Now then. I shall pierce you through.
Fox. Now, what next? Elemental grip.
I'll not be defeated. Benefic stars, bless us.
My turn.
Victory shall be mine. Death by 1,000 cuts.
Elemental grip. What is the logical course of action? Elemental grip.
Bring
gonna
about
heal everybody.
healing.
Fox. Ignis are dead.
Victory shall be mine. I shall pierce you through.
Ow!
Now then.
Fox. What's this now? Elemental grip. You should have studied harder.
From the Diary of Graham Crossford, Part the First. Grave tidings reached me as I was passing through Victor's Hollow in my travels. My beloved's condition had worsened. I knew my journey must be brought to a swift conclusion, lest I be too late in the end. I made up my mind to sail across the verdant deep. The final ingredient I required was the pinion of an ogre eagle, that most fearsome beast of the sky. They are said to make their home in the forest of Reuben, beyond that vast emerald sea. When I arrived at the harbour, there was only one ship to be found. It was a grand one, no mistaking that, but the captain was none other than Leon Bestral. I recognized him at once, of course. Who could travel these lands without hearing a tale or ten of that dread pirate captain? The very mention of whose name would set even the bravest sailors' hearts pounding and palms sweating. Yet I found the man himself to be quite different from the one spoken of in legend. Captain Leon Bestral stood at the helm of a merchant trader, which was preparing to hoist sail at the very moment I came upon it. I told him of my haste and implored that he let me aboard. "I'm afraid I don't just let anyone aboard my ship," he told me. And I felt as though I were being put to some kind of test. It was clear this was a man who did not easily place his trust in others. My coin purse, as impoverished as my hopes, I held out the only thing of value I could offer, my journal. "This is the most valuable of my possessions," I explained. "Within it you will find a record of every region of this vast continent, every town I have visited, and every path I have tread. Surely such knowledge is worth the trouble of having one more body aboard your ship for this voyage." After all, what need had I of such a log then? My journey was nearly over. All that remained was to obtain the final ingredient and hasten home to my beloved's side. Captain Leon gave a boisterous laugh and gestured me onto his ship with a grin. "You'd have me believe the leaves of that old book are more valuable than the leaves in my coffers? You must have had quite the journey. I wouldn't mind hearing about it as you swab my decks." As his ship tossed about the stormy sea, my thoughts drifted ahead of the winds to where my wife awaited me. I could see her face in my mind, so clearly that it felt as though it was only minutes ago that we parted, not countless moons. And I prayed that the flame would guide me back to her while that gentle smile still graced her lips. "It's almost finished at last, my love. Pray wait for me just a little longer." I know not what has become of my journal since I parted ways with Captain Leon, but looking back, I am relieved that it left my hands when it did. Surely it is better that my final entry ended with some traces of hope, rather than the bitter pain I would eventually find at journey's end.
I will not fail.
Let's go.
Have at you.
Well, as usual, transfer rune. And I know you're weak to lightning, so that's a good thing to start with. I forgot the damage he does.
Guardian Lion Dog.
It's fine though, after the first turn it should be alright.
Night Witch to that.
My turn now.
Now, what next? Night Witch to that.
Yay! We're safe.
The battle is truly jolting. Conjure lightning.
You're too
Elemental friction.
I'll do my best. Benefic stars, bless us.
An interesting dilemma. Elemental friction.
Ah, no, I'm locked out of that now? Okay. Light. I'll go with light.
Lux Conjurer. Fox.
I'll just heal everyone on you.
Bring about a miracle of healing.
Okay,
Victory
you need
shall
to
be mine.
change to light.
Conjure light. What is the logical course of action? Witchery.
It's fine, I didn't need my boost anyway.
What's this now? Elemental friction. How about you? Scatter them all! What? Fox!
I'll do my best. Moonlight, reflect their glow.
What's this now? Elemental friction.
Come on, patience. Yes.
Out of my way.
Fox! The battle is truly joined. My blade is unbending! Conjure light!
I'm ready. Are you?
Show me.
Where's the nearest tavern?
Oh boy. From the records of Lord Werner of Riverford. Hornburg will fall. I still remember her smile as she said those words. It was a score of years ago now, mayhap more. A simple sellsword I was then, when she came to me with a sackful of leaves and dark promise in her eyes. She knew as well as I did that I had far greater aspirations than selling my sword for cheap coin. And in words here. But coin would have to be a start, and what a start she offered me. Not only the leaves to free me from another man's employ, but as much as I asked for to invest in my plot and establish the connections I would need. The life I'd always dreamed of was finally in my grasp. I could use her. I could use her to get all that I'd ever wanted, or so I thought. And so I took the girl up on her offer, and began my plot to bring down an entire kingdom. I would need men if I were to accomplish anything, so I created my own sellsword company. The Black Brotherhood, I called them. I spent 3 years doing nothing but gathering information on Hornburg. Then, using what I had learned, I began to systematically remove any obstacles that might stand in my path. I used the girl's connections to make my company of sellswords very much in demand in Hornburg. I took the worst of the lot, those with no scruples and nowhere else to go, and made them out to be bandits and thieves. I set these villains to attacking the borders of Hornburg, and then my Black Brotherhood would turn them back. It was quite the performance. Other armies didn't stand a chance at beating us to the site of each battle. The skirmishes all took place far from the heart of Hornburg. We knew ahead of time exactly where they would happen. Since the foes we have faced in those battles were in fact our own men, it was an easy feat to give the appearance of crushing defeat. Through this farce, the Black Brotherhood won the hearts of the people living in these borderlands. Ingraining myself with the families of these borderlands, I used their introductions to buy trust among many powerful houses of Hornburg. The tales of the Black Brotherhood had spread throughout the realm by then, and I used that woman's money freely to strengthen my ties to powerful men within Hornburg and without. Still, King Alfred was well beloved by his people and his bannermen. It would be no small feat to win their hearts away from him, in which case things would become much easier if he were simply not in the picture. Hornburg would not last long without the people's love for their liege binding them together, and so my eyes landed upon Erdhard, who held a bitter hatred of the king within him. I had him appointed as a member of the king's own guard, so that he could be in the perfect position to do the deed. All that remained was to give Erdhard the chance that he was all too eager to seize. Mixing lies and truths, I lit a fire among this strong young warrior I befriended. I could spout any lie and it would not have mattered. Humans care little for facts, they believe what they want to believe. In the end, it took me just 12 short years to bring Hornburg to ruin. After the kingdom fell, I decided the time had come to settle my accounts with that woman. I disbanded my company, having no more need for sellswords, and used the riches I had accumulated to buy myself the lands and status that would see me through my remaining days. To tell the honest truth, this was not easy. I could have gained even more had I remained at the woman's side. She could provide me with wealth and power beyond any human's wildest dreams. But to pursue this any further would be madness. Perhaps I was already mad. To serve so long at her beck and call to bring down a kingdom. She was beautiful. There can be no doubt about that. But did I desire her, even for a moment? No. For within that attractive trapping was evil. Pure evil. Intent on bringing humanity to ruin. If a man dared touch any part of it, his own flesh would rot and fall away. She was a lethal poison. She was a witch. And so I cut myself off from her entirely and did not look back. Funny though, is it not? In the end I could not escape her. She brought about my ruin, as surely as if I had indulged in her poisonous touch. For in the end, just as I felt Hornburg, it was Hornburg's last night who laid me low. Okay, right. I think Ophelia would probably be better in party 2. And I'll take Alphen into party 1. Now, between Therion, Albrecht, and Cyrus, who am I better with? Primrose's buffs would be good in here. Yeah. Alphen can still heal and revive, but one at a time, but that's not as important here because those two are there. Yes. Right, Therion, it's time to go. Carry the team.
You? Why, yes. Kit. Just so. The gate of Finis. But in truth, and then oh, it begins. Father. Galdera, my father.
I hear you, my daughter. My daughter, for fulfilling your fate, I bestow upon you eternal slumber. Brave souls, you too have earned the same reward. So come, let us consume all life on this world. Let us consume the gods themselves. For now and eternity, there is only us. There is only Galdera. Holy Jesus! What is this?
Out of my way.
Right, okay, I'm gonna hope that... See if that's weak to light and I have no light in my party, I'm gonna go mental.
Your tears
All right.
Bea is weak to light, let's go.
How do you like this?
Yep. Jesus!
On your feet now.
No! Scatter them all!
Oh, that's what I'm here for.
Stay strong.
She has heal more, why didn't I use heal more?
No! Conjure light!
Fox.
Failed.
Was the whole party dead immediately? What? Holy crap! my god! No! It only took him 2 turns. All that hard work ruined. I don't even know what to do now. I guess I don't have time to rush it. I guess I'll just have to grind some more this week. And then come back. I'll rush it for next week and then finish or do the final fight on stream, I guess. Yeah, okay. That might work. Maybe. I'm not reading all the stuff again next week at least, so. That is ridiculous. Right, well, I'm just gonna go get ready to go to the pub now then. Because there's not enough time to go another run on that. So I guess I will see y'all on Monday for some more Mario Sunshine. Hooray! Bloody game, stupid boss, 2 hitting. See you later, guys.